Radical.
Welcome to Flea Market Stories, documenting one man's journey into the world of flea marketing. I'm recording this right as I wake up, just because I want to get out of the way. So the quality is going to be kind of shaky. Again, if I'm just waking up or going to sleep on the way to sleep, then I just don't have it, right? But I want to get this one out of the way. This is for Sunday. I want to save what transpired and happened on Saturday. In fact, I was going to have a hype upload, a short one, telling you all you need to tune in at such amount of time to really, that one might be half an hour long at the minimum, because I have to explore what happened Saturday from a variety of angles. You just won't believe it. I didn't believe it. It was just crazy. But this one is going to be for Sunday. Okay? I'm not saying you have to skip, you should skip over this one, but if you want to, that's fine. But the next one, you have to tune into the whole next one. You have to. I'm even taking notes. I rarely ever take notes for these, but that one, that was insane. On this day was the day following Saturday, which was interesting for a variety of angles on Saturday. But the sales on Saturday were just great. This day, not so much. But my theory on it was maybe a lot of people already spent their money on the Saturday, and the Sunday was kind of a slower day. One thing I'll get out of the way is, the guy that always comes over and tries to sell me things. Sometimes he has good things. Sometimes he has, kind of junk. I will say, what are we going to call him? The pusher. He always tries to push you on certain things. Can't remember which day it was, but he came over to me at a table adjacent to me, basically saying he had some Realtree type stuff, some stickers for your decals for your car, and he had like a lot of them. It was very random. He'll just have random stuff, and he just probably acquires random stuff. And I said, no, I don't really need any like Realtree car decals, but thanks. And I told this guy before, I said, listen, I have some car issues coming up, possible transmission job, and the last thing I'm doing is buying anything at the flea market to sell. I got more than enough things to sell, and on a rare occurrence that I'm going to acquire something, usually it's not the flea market, usually it's online. So he knows not to kind of like push stuff on me like he used to in the past. But that doesn't stop him from pushing something on the table adjacent to me, which is actually the guy that I got the Luigi's Mansion and Star Fox Adventures and Blood Rain, PS2, various other games for like $60. Actually, one of the best deals I've ever gotten from somebody was that game stack, right? So in certain instances, I do, and it's kind of awkward if I'm around with them and I'm buying something from the other one, but the other one says like, hey, I thought you didn't buy stuff. So maybe I'll have to like update that, or maybe not. I'm just going to tell the guy like, really, I'm not buying something. And then if he catches me buying something for someone else, I'll just say like, listen, there's exceptions to the rule. There is, and this is one of those. So, the other guy might think, oh, okay, I'll just keep trying to bring more stuff to him. So I don't want the one guy to see me buying some stuff from the other guy. And I might explain this to the other guy when the other guy's here. And I might give him like fair warning, like, hey, that guy's going to constantly try to sell you things and you have to wiggle your way out of it because he's a persuasive salesperson. And I saw him working using his own line that he used on me, which, like I said, I've gotten some good deals from him in the past, but sometimes not so much. And this guy was using the same line on this guy, like, hey, I'm just trying to help you make money. I'm just trying to help you make money. He said the same thing, almost like he's reading from a script, He's just a consummate salesperson. He really is. So I'll give him that. I don't think the guy really, got the Realtree stickers from him. I don't think so. And later on, I notice he always sits down when I'm cleaning up because I have the chairs out. And he sits down as I'm cleaning up. And, I guess he just wants to talk, but when I'm cleaning up and getting ready to go, that's the worst time to talk to me because I'm just trying to focus on getting the car loaded up and going. And sometimes I have to go to work also after. So maybe one way I can get away from that is to actually take the tables out maybe an hour before, because he always comes by and he sits down on the stool. Take the stools out of him. But it's always like, it's not a day he's even selling there. He just comes there Sunday to walk around and look at people's tables. I don't know. So he mentions, so trying to access some of this stuff. Okay, he mentions again that he has a box of DVDs, and I'm like, okay, no, I don't need anything right now. I'm fine. I was told him before that I'm fine on that. And then he asked about the car situation, because you remember what I said, about the transmission. And I said, listen, this is a situation where some days better than others. By the way, I think the car's transmission, I'm not even going to jinx it. I'm not even going to say like how it's doing. I'm not going to jinx it. But I said that's more of a concern than, picking up things like boxes of DVDs. And if there was any situation to where I wanted something from him, I mostly would find things to trade with him because he's a salesperson and not straight up buy, because I'm trying to hold on to money to take care of other things. And if he tries to come by and push a box of DVDs on me, I can pull something out and say, you know what this is? And be like, oh, I don't know what that is. Okay, this is one of the DVDs that was in a box I've got you in the past. And I'll tell him also that, I sold some of the DVDs in that box, and I made a little bit of money from the DVDs in that box, so no issue. Not a lot, considering what I paid for them, not a lot. But I'll show him the back of one of those DVDs, which was scratched all to bejesus and had some weird, mysterious substance on it. I'll say, listen, if you're selling to people, whether it's, people shopping here or other vendors, you have to know what you're selling, and you have to be honest about what you're selling. You have to, test your stuff. If you're selling stuff you can't test, you have to be honest and say, like, listen, some of these are probably not going to work. Some of these will work. I don't know. I haven't tested them. So you're selling a bulk lot to somebody. And, deals are subjective that they're getting. If half of the DVDs either don't work out right or skip at certain parts in the movie, you can't sell things that don't work. You can't sell things that skip. So to be actually a professional, what you have to do is you have to test these out before you sell them. And here I'm trying to start a new precedent in the flea market when it comes to media for people to test what they have before they sell, or to be honest at least and say, I don't know if it works. There's nothing wrong with selling a lot if you're being honest and saying, listen, I'm selling it for cheap because I don't know what works in here. And then you take your chances. But I don't think he does that. I think he just sells them as if they're all going to work. You can't do that. That's not how you run business. I think he said in response to that one time, I think he said like, well, they seem okay. Or something like that. But seem okay is not the same thing. You wouldn't sell a used car part if you couldn't test it, would you? Well, there's an alternator. I just picked up somebody. It seems like it works okay. Like, nah, you don't know. You have to verify that it's a new part, or if it's a used part that was working on the vehicle before it turned off. That's not exactly the same thing. It's more dramatic because it's for a vehicle and it's not old DVDs. But still, you have to be honest when it comes to that stuff. What do I want to talk about? Okay, next up, the couple that I acquired a lot of stuff from while I'm doing consignment deals from a couple weeks ago, the Teddy Ruxpin and My Little Ponies and all that kind of stuff. I saw them. They walked by the table, and I was kind of expecting them to come by and ask if I'd sold any of their stuff and whatnot, but they didn't. They actually just walked by, and they went on down to another table. I had to stop them, walk over, and give them some money and tell them like some things that I sold. Yeah, that was weird, right? So I was weirded out by the fact that they didn't stop. I was expecting that. And I'm an honest person, so it's not like I'm going to sell their things and not give them money back for the percentage of what they sold. So I sold some Pokemon cards, and I sold the Super Mario Brothers DVD. Did I mention the Super Mario Brothers DVD? That was sold the day before. I'll talk about maybe that sale on a Saturday, but I won't go into that particular sale. But I gave them the money and whatnot, and they said, okay, we might have more stuff next week, which I didn't turn down because I figured there might be some more things in there like Mario stuff. Mario sells like crazy, anything Mario. So I don't know what they got. I don't know what they got. They might got some really nice stuff that could sell instantly. So I made some more room in the storage room, and I'm preparing for what they have next week. Heaven help me, I'm preparing for what they bring by next week. But I shouldn't complain because it's not a bad situation to be in. I just have to make room and prepare. The other time, I was not prepared for all the stuff they brought me. This time, I will be. I'm also bringing less to the flea market and having myself more space in the Impala for that. Lastly, on a positive note, he'd been gone for weeks, but my assistant is back. My store assistant is back. And the problem is, I kind of sold a system that he gave me to work on with the idea that I would have another one ready to bring by, and they're both white Xbox 360s, and they both look similar, and I would have another one fixed. But somebody really, really, really wanted it. It was my demo system, and I sold it. So I didn't want to tell him that I sold it. So what I'm going to do is I told him next week I'll have another one, and I'll just, I have it fixed. I don't know what I'm going to do with that situation, so I'm going to skip on this one. Talking about this, I don't know what I'm going to do about that situation. But yeah, I had the other one, and I'm going to basically half the money with him because he brought a system for me to fix. I'm going to attach a game and a controller, and we'll just kind of split the money next week. Or I'll tell him like, hey, this is, your demo system right here. You can keep it here every weekend to play stuff on. You can try sell it yourself, and then, we split the money down the middle. Something like that. I don't know. We'll figure something out. What I want to finish off talking about last is the kid that kept switching out video games. Nice kid. Came by, as other kids do, to play some of the systems right now. And he's very complimentary. Very complimentary of my area. Says my area was his favorite at the flea market. It's nice to hear and whatnot. The problem with this kid, though, was that he would put a game in, whether it be Resident Evil 5, Rainbow Six Siege, a Skate, I lose track of all the games that he would put in. He would put the games in. He would play them, Splinter Cell. He would put the games in, and he would play them for about 5-10 minutes. Dark Souls he played, and those last ones he played. And he kept asking if he could switch the games out. And the kid, at least 10 games he was playing on that system. Because he would keep coming back and leaving and keep coming back. And he would ask if he could switch the games out. But I was thinking, like, what is this? Is it the same people that get on Netflix and they start watching a movie for 4 or 5 minutes and go, okay, now I want to see the beginning of another movie? Maybe he was just so, he wanted to get through every game and see a little bit of every game while he was there. And I might suggest that, I sell these 360 systems and I always have the games and whatnot. So, yeah. And maybe it wasn't a big problem, but I just don't want that going on for several reasons. Because when he brings a game back there, I don't think he's going to keep them in the same area, alphabetical. And let's say he's playing a game that somebody else wants, like a Mortal Kombat. If I only have one copy of that, then that's maybe a potential sale that didn't happen because someone didn't see it there. And I don't want him to just take the disc out, because what happens if he's playing a game, somebody picks up a game and I forget what he's playing, then I wind up just selling the case. So I think what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to just have games dedicated for selling, and my extras, maybe a stack of extras just for playing in the system. I think that's what I'll do there. One issue is, through various reasons, I don't have many working Xbox 360 systems. It's the only time going into this weekend that I don't, except the one, and that's actually for the other guy. I fixed the system for him. Maybe before I go to work today, I'll try to work on some other 360s and get some running. But I think what I'm going to run is an Xbox One system. Yeah, I have an Xbox One system for sale. A bundle. I'm going to run that. Going to run a PlayStation 1 I'm selling. And then maybe one of the cheap little mini Nintendo, something like that. And then, of course, a 360 that, like I said, if I do sell it, I have to half the money with the other guy and everything. But yeah, that was Flea Market Stories for today. Again, just waking up. This one's not going to be that great, but tune in definitely for the next one, because, like I said, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy.